Hi everyone and welcome to our last interactive presentation that we have with Chemistry 2. Today we are kind of going to end it in a fun way, and we are going to create something called Kinetic Sand. So what it is basically is Kinetic Sand is a fun way to learn about science and have a good time at the same time. Basically, it is a craze amongst infants, children, and even adults, and it has actually become a huge trend on the internet because it is a sand-like texture but can conform and break under the influence of pressure. Okay, so it is easy to clean, as well as it kind of have a silk-like texture to it as well, and it is a great toy for kids and honestly for adults. So what makes this type of sand different from regular sand? That is based on the amazing properties that it has. So first, it seems like the sand is always wet, however, it will never dry out. So what I mean by this is you can mold it, you can twist it, you can turn it, and anything like that, and it will never dry out and fall apart. Another fantastic property of it as well is it does not stick to anything other than itself. So unlike normal wet sand, this will actually just fall apart randomly, and that makes it really fun. So now let's talk a little bit about what is actually happening when we create the sand, and then we'll get into making it. Okay, so kinetic sand oftentimes it is made up of 98% sand, and then of course 2% PDMS, which basically stands for polydimethyl siloxane. I think I'm saying that right. Basically what it is silicone oil base, which is a liquid that is polymerized siliconase. Basically what that is, it's a functional group of organic compounds that contains a carbon and a silicon basically bond. So what that means is it actually has organic side chains. To put it simply, based off of that nice little science, kinetic sand is a type of sand that is coated with a silicone oil. It's basically what it is. That particular oil is also used and also includes, a mixture of components made of silicon as well as oxygen. So when that mixture is put together, it actually utilizes several lubricants as well as other items such as shampoos or any type of cleaning devices that you have. Today we're actually going to be using dish soap, which actually helps it kind of activate. This silicone oil coating will also allow the kinetic sand to display properties of a semi-solid and a smooth solid under pressure. Okay, so that is just to put it simply. Now to head back a little bit to the science, and PDMS is actually a clear and in general non-toxic and inflammable component. It is also called dimethicone and is one of the several types of silicone oil that can be used, which I think is very interesting. So while kinetic sand is something easy and fun to create, it does have some pretty intense science behind it. So surfaces that contain PDMS oftentimes will be hydrophobic, and because of this property, it will make the sand very easy to clean and fun for sculpting, because it doesn't stick to other materials, let alone it will only stick to itself. So let's get started with making it. We'll only need a couple ingredients to get started. The first things first is you'll need 3 cups of play sand, which I have here in this lovely little bag. I found that at Walmart. It was a little bit hard to find sand that wasn't already kinetic sand. So found that at Walmart. You'll need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of dish soap, and then of course you'll need about a cup of water, or as much as it is needed. Okay, so first you're going to add the play sand, which is the sand that I have already mixed in this bowl, and you're going to take that cornstarch, which I have here, and you're going to put it together. So like I mentioned, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 and 2. We're going to mix that together until it is mixed fairly well and there's no clumps. Making a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. Alrighty, so when your mixture is done, it should look like you didn't add anything to your sand, like that. Alrighty, then you're going to put that aside for now, and then the next thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to take a separate container, and you're going to mix your water and dish soap together. So I here already have my 1 cup water, and then I have my dish soap right here, and the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of dish soap. So I'm going to grab my measuring spoon. Oopsies, and I might have added a little bit more. You're going to add a teaspoon of dish soap. You're kind of going to mix it around until it becomes bubbly. I might have to add a little bit more. So you're then slowly, after this, have a little bit of bubbles. Let me add a little bit more. I think I have too much water. There we go. So you're going to do this until it becomes bubbly. As you can see, I have bubbles at the top. Then you're going to slowly add the mixture to the sand and cornstarch. You're then going to mix them until they're pretty well combined. If the mixture is too dry, you want to add more water to it so it's reached a better consistency. And then, of course, you can cover your kinetic sand when it's done. That way it will not dry out towards the end. So we're slowly going to add our water to our sand. Alrighty. So now in my case, what happened is I added a little bit too much water. So let me go ahead and add some more sand and see what that does to the mixture. That's a much better consistency. It's slowly forming. Let me add a little bit more sand. There we go. Alright, and there you have it, folks. We have some sand, except it's still a little too wet. But when you make kinetic sand, be sure you don't add too much water to it. Other than that, another cool feature of this is also the particles should only stick to itself, which means it shouldn't be sticking to your hand like it is sticking to mine right now, which probably means my consistency is not enough. It could also mean that I added a little bit too much dish soap. So other than that, I hope you guys have a great one. Goodbye.